Well, hi everybody. You have heard so far from Baljeet, Sindhu, and Lata about sports and going to gym and yoga. And we embrace those activities and now expand into another domain of physical activity called NEAT, and that is non-exercise movement that we do and we should do more of it. So we are going to cover what are the two components of fitness, and then exercise versus NEAT, then sitting disease, and NEAT and movement-based fitness plan. So what are the two components of fitness? One is health related, like strength, flexibility, cardiovascular endurance, muscular endurance, and body composition. The skill based is more important as we get older, and that is agility, speed, reaction time, balance, coordination, and so forth. Now, exercise versus non-exercise activity. Let's look at this particular graph here. That is the calorie you burn sitting versus standing versus walking. There is increasing calorie burn, as you simply stand from sitting position. So with that in mind, exercise is a planned calorie burn at the gym, such as bicycling, jogging, or going for an exercise walk and so forth. Whereas the non-exercise activity is every other movement of our body, excluding sleep. Now, if you look at this relationship further, attaining the health and fitness is a very basic standard, in using your activity as a tool. But for higher fitness, you could use what is called high intensity exercise activity. It is called HIIT. So sitting is a disease because it kills you. And particularly in this culture, we sit at the computer or sit and watch television. And more you sit, more sicker you get. In fact, smoking one cigarette reduces your lifespan by 11 minutes. And whereas watching TV for 1 hour reduces your lifespan by 22 minutes, you can counter it by simply standing and watching television, how simple it can be. And additionally, it is important for you to know that for every single minute we sit, research has shown that you die 2 minutes sooner. That is why we stand up for a reason, and that is a good reason to live longer and love your life. So TV watching couch potato is a hidden death sentence. People go to gym and do exercise for an hour, then come back and sit and watch television, and that is called TV watching couch potato. And that makes you sicker and makes you die sooner. Particularly, the research was done on incidence and progression of cancer. So sitting disease, why and when we sit? When you wake up, then even if you do 30 minutes of brisk walking, then you sit and eat breakfast, sit and drive to work, computer work at work, a computer sitting at work, and then sit again at lunchtime, computer work in the afternoon, drive back home sitting, and sit at your meal in the evening, and then watch television. Such sitting is our killer. So our job wants us to sit. We want to take time, take load off of our body and sit. And then is it not true when you meet somebody, please be seated, baithiye, that instead, please be standing for a good reason. You may change it. So we sit and drive, we sit and watch TV, sit and eat, and so forth. And most importantly, we sit at our toilet in the Western style. So top 5 neat opposites of sitting are active sitting, like sitting on the floor, yoga sitting, and so forth, fidgeting, moving your body, laughter yoga. You might have heard of Dr. Madan Kataria from India, who teaches how to laugh and move your body. And then standing and moving. These are the 5 different opposites of sitting. You may want to do it as often as you can, particularly when you have this impulse to sit because of your habit. So 3 top sitting situations are computer use, phone use, and television. So the goal of NEAT or non-exercise activity is to reduce your sitting by 150 minutes per day. And then active sitting, active standing, walking, or movement-based fitness activity all day, as contrasted to limited hours of gym, yoga, or sports. Active sittings, here Gandhiji sitting with Nehru. And in the Western culture, people sit with their feet up in the sofa. Now, in India, you sit and eat and sit and play cards. Or, in old culture, up in the tribal culture, people sit and squat. And then in Indian toilets, you sit and squat. In the Western toilet, sit in a chair. That is one of the main reason for constipation, because the angle of your rectum is strangulated. Active sitting, the benefits of sitting on the floor and eating versus the Western style of sitting in a chair. So neat way to computer is use of computer is a stand or a treadmill desk. I do sometimes the teaching for 8 hours continuously walking on my treadmill desk at the speed of 1 hour per minute speed, because the faster if you do your treadmill use, then you cannot focus on the task at hand. Next slide. So walking, and 3 tips to upgrade your walk is walk in the morning sun. When you expose yourself to morning sun, that regulates your circadian rhythm and gives you better night sleep. And forest bath, in Japanese language, it is called Shinrin Yoku, the art of forest bathing. That is going out in the forest, looking at the trees and being in the nature and walking. And additionally, walking in a cold weather, which builds your, brown fat. Next slide. Brown fat is the good fat that burns bad fat and also burns more calories. Brown people like people from India have more of the white fat, and white people like Caucasians have more of the brown fat. You can brown your white fat by exposing yourself to cold weather more without wearing very heavy clothes. Okay, now I use these animated slides to really share with you the movement-based lens rather than muscle-based ones. And these are like children do or animals do, without going to gym, without having any instructor. And simply, these are the 5 movements: squatting, lunge walk, punching, pushing, and twist and roll. The squatting is simply sitting halfway, and then that is a simple squat. And that one helps you to move your muscles all over your body. You squat like a child. And the other is a walking lunge, by just simply stepping forward and backward as you are standing. Next one is punching, as if you are punching someone or punching in the air. And the next one is pushing against the wall. You stand against the wall and push from the wall away, and that strengthens your upper body, and then also your arms and the entire system. And then trunk rotation, you can do it in the sitting way, or you can also do it lying down. The most important one that I like, I recommend to anybody, regardless of your fitness, is lie down in your bed or on the floor and then imagine there is a bicycle in the air and kick that bicycle pedal, back and forth as fast as you can. That one becomes a high intensity interval training. If you slow down and make it faster, and that is called HIIT workout. And finally, the biggest benefit you get by doing these activity throughout the day by moving your body is what is called building strong sleep drive, because you need to build sleep drive by muscle activity so that you will have good night sleep. And the summary of this is the goal, tool, and ritual. The goal is to increase your NEAT activity or non exercise physical activity. And then the tools, as I mentioned, are these simple movements. And ritual is you do it by cue dependent, like in the living room, in the television room, or where is one cue, and when, morning, afternoon, or night is another cue. And the third cue is with who you do. Like I squat with my grandchildren, I on the ground, and then play with them.